And you say, well, it's not so accurate if you use saliva and urine, except for one thing. About 80% of people who take the vitamins and the herbs that help to balance out these neurotransmitters, which I'll mention in just a second, get better. Sleep problems, mood problems, energy problems improve with that. Why is that? Because you're looking at the inhibitory neurotransmitters. We make it simple. We look at serotonin and GABA, gamma-aminobutyric acid. And we look at the excitatory neurotransmitters. This is epinephrine, known as adrenaline, norepinephrine, dopamine, glutamate. We look at those, and we look at the balance or imbalance between them, and then we balance them. And we go back and we test that to see if we're doing better. But the best marker for me is, how do you feel? I feel better. Great. You want to do another test? Why do I need to do this? But it's very helpful. So these are some of the tests that we do. Do we have the Thyroflex here tonight? I don't know if we have that. We don't have the Thyroflex. The Thyroflex is the thyroid reflex device that I mentioned. But this is the metabolic and nutritional testing that we often use to help guide us in this. Hormonal and neurotransmitter health, we talked a little bit about. Body composition analysis. It must be accurate and reproducible, which is why we use this particular machine. It has electronic leads, so you get a very low, I don't know the electronic terms, you don't feel anything, okay? It's not like you're getting zapped when you get the darn thing tested. But it very accurately measures body composition, and it's reproducible, so it's nice. This is to make sure, are you losing fat weight, not muscle mass? Because you do this South Beach diet, hey, I lost 15 pounds and I also sag now. Why am I sagging? Because you haven't replenished with muscle mass. So you want to make sure that you're not losing the wrong kind of weight. This is the formal end of this part of the presentation, but mental blocks. I just don't have the motivation to stay on a diet. So all these other things are true. We've done this, we've done that. I just don't have the motivation to stay on a diet. You know how I translate that in integrative medicine? My dopamine and serotonin levels are low and I don't know it. That's often true. And I don't have the motivation, and I'm actually feeling not so engaged in life, which is kind of dopamine. Kind of a veil, it's not quite brisk and bright, dopamine. And I'm feeling like, my glass is like mediocre. It's not half full, it's not half empty, it's just kind of mediocre. There's no picture for that. It's either half full or half empty. This is mediocre, okay? And that's serotonin. Okay, so, and by the way, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, Celexa, Zoloft, Prozac. Many patients I see have been helped by that for a few months, or 6 months, or a year. Then it stops working. Now, why is that? I don't have accurate data to support the next thing I'm going to say, so I won't say that this has been proven. But what my experience has been is they're trying to prevent the reuptake of serotonin when they don't have enough serotonin left to prevent the reuptake of. So very simply stated, these medications work by keeping serotonin in the synaptic cleft between the nerve cells. And by keeping serotonin there, it makes you happier. It doesn't make you great happy. It doesn't make you great depressed. It keeps you like there. Most people on those don't feel really happy, but they don't feel really depressed, which is an improvement. But the reason they fail is that as serotonin depletes over time, if you're low in serotonin to begin with, what are you saving in the cleft? You're saving more of nothing. So, it's a problem. This is a little bit about Thyroflex testing. The Thyroflex testing, I just mentioned this, it gives us information about resting metabolic rate, high, low, or normal thyroid function, exercise efficiency, iodine deficiency, and autoimmune thyroid disease. I've diagnosed many cases of Hashimoto's thyroiditis, which is the most common form of hypothyroidism in the United States. By far, Hashimoto's thyroiditis, and that's published. That's like so common, it's hard to find the references on it because Mayo Clinic says it, the New England Journal says it. Hashimoto's is an autoimmune disease. If you have a low thyroid, you probably have Hashimoto's thyroiditis, and you don't know it. This machine helps pick it up because of the conflict between hypo and hyper information that we get on that. So I've diagnosed many cases by simply doing a Thyroflex test. And what does that matter? Because it helps me intercede with specific herbal products to slow down autoimmunity. We don't have a presentation on autoimmune disease tonight. Maybe we'll do that in the future. But It's remarkable at how we can actually slow down that fire that's burning underneath by simply looking at a piece of data. So it's sweet. Improve your cell. Now has to do with some of the nutrients that we use. Gamma-aminobutyric acid. By the way, GABA is a little bit of a misnomer. GABA does not cross the blood-brain barrier. We prefer to use a precursor form of GABA that does cross the blood-brain barrier. People who take GABA and feel more relaxed, is there anybody who feels more relaxed with GABA? I certainly have in the past. Problem is, it's a leaky brain syndrome. My office staff will testify to that being true. But aside from that, which is a known factor, if GABA makes you feel more relaxed, it's because there's something that's a little bit off in the protective mechanism of the central nervous system, because that's too large a molecule to get through, and it is not lipophilic enough to get through. But anyway, it does help some people. American ginseng, N-acetyltyrosine, B vitamins, and zinc all support sustained energy and normalization of the stress hormone cortisol. So it's helping to normalize cortisol, which is the stress hormone that increases appetite. Okay? The people, we have, like Christiana, you're here tonight. Where are you? Way in the back. There's a brilliant nutritionist from Designs for Health. Okay? Has helped me so much, including with some of these slides. Okay? Cortisol is such a major player that being able to modulate that and having nutritional companies that are so sophisticated now that they can target these things, it's amazing. Supplements are no longer like granddaddy's vitamins. These are targeted, highly specific, very well thought out interventions. And just as a little pitch in my office, we buy supplements from companies that sell only to doctors. They don't sell to the general public. You've got to have a medical degree to get these supplements, not because they're dangerous, but because they want them in the hands of someone who actually knows what they're doing with them. And I'm not saying that others don't. It's just that they're pharmaceutical grade, they're ultra pure, they're double laboratory tested, including by laboratories that are not owned by the company who makes the vitamins. It's kind of like buying the car from, the salesman who assures you it's the best car and has never been tested by a road mechanic. So these are road tested. 7-keto DHEA, there's a number of good studies, small studies, that show that 7-keto DHEA in human clinical trials, not just in the laboratory, results in weight loss at a dose of 100 milligrams twice a day. Those were the general doses that were used for 7-keto, so we use 7-keto. Endo Trim, this is from Designs for Health. It provides herbal and nutritional support for boosting metabolism of fat. What's the problem? So, Endo Trim and LCarnitine, which is another good fat burner, best to take that before you work out. Take it 30 minutes or an hour before you work out. Increase your fat burning during the workout. Because these types of herbs say, don't go to the muscle, go to the fat for that energy for this workout. Really smart. So it really saves you a lot of trouble. This is just some of the other things that it does. These are some of the Endo Trim things. And that also helps with neurotransmitter support, though we use other things with this for it, but it can be helpful for that, and this is how it works. These are Endo Trim actions. This is one from Orthomolecular. This is Glycemic Foundation. I don't have one. There's another really good one. It's a pack from Douglas Labs that we sometimes use. Panteth reduces body weight along with cholesterol and triglycerides. Panteth helps lower cholesterol, but it also reduces body weight. And weight loss packets you can get. This is cislinoleic acid. It affects on serum lipids and body fats. So there's a number of good supplements to help, but I'm telling you that the foundation has got to be those initial elements of lifestyle. You've got to look at your stress, your sleep, your exercise, your diet, and the fifth one we forget is self-care. Self-care is your meditation, your relaxation, your consciousness about your diet, your daily prayer, your daily visualization. Big player, because it sets the tone. And research shows this, so we won't have to dwell on this.